Well, hello everyone. I'm here with my partner Chip Virnig, and we are joined by Andre Durand, the CEO and founder of Ping Identity. Andre, Ping wasn't the first company you founded. Tell me about where the idea came up for founding Ping, and I heard about this sailing trip that you had, and how did this happen?
Yeah, so the idea was indirect, frankly. I had made an observation that every time we network a device, the utility of the device switched to all being associated with the network. And what I mean by that was that we first connected my PC to a Novell network, which it was all great. A week later, the network went down and we went and played Frisbee because we couldn't do anything. A week earlier, we could do everything on our PC, but then all the value went to the Novell network. And some months later, we connected the Novell network to the internet. And I remember a week after that, the internet went down and we all said, well, we can't do anything. Let's go play Frisbee. And it was an observation that devices were networking and that all the value was in the networking. And from there, I essentially surmised that, well, if that's the case, no device has any utility off the network. It should be that if someone steals my device, I could just shut it off because it's on the network. It was verbatim Find My on Apple, where you can see the device. But the leap from there was, well, none of that works if I don't have an identity on the network, if the device doesn't have an identity on the network. Like, everything has to have an identity for me to be associated with it to shut it off. And it was that leap of logic that said, well, I guess we have an identity problem on the internet. We need to know who people are. And my observation was we had email servers and FTP servers and DNS servers. There had to be an identity server. And that was the original idea. The sailboat, I was off the ABC Islands off of Venezuela. It was the first time I had a little bit of free time to think because I was solidly an entrepreneur for the prior two companies. And so this was the idea, that the observation and the idea that essentially emerged in that moment of spare time.
Just amazing. And now here you are, $1 billion company, thousands of employees, thousands of customers. What's your culture like? You know, you started this from the beginning. You must be really tell me about how all this journey that you've had, how has it influenced the culture of your company, and what do you look for?
Well, I came from very humble beginnings, right? It was an idea with no money and no understanding of the market. I mean, really, it was nothing. And both my prior companies were kind of similar. You never forget that humility, I guess, and how hard it is. I have come to resonate with one simple cultural North Star. I refer to it as 10-10. And so if you think about measuring two things, either in an individual or in a company as a collective, one dimension is performance, in many respects non-negotiable. The other dimension is your attitude. And say one is the what and the other is the how. In a 10-10 culture, the how matters as much as the what. And you will find situations where in pursuit of performance, the how is sacrificed. In essence, what you're saying is the culture is sacrificed in pursuit of the number. And there are moments in time where you're vulnerable, where that has to be a true statement. I just don't want it to be a durable statement, nor necessarily what we strive for. We strive to be a 10-10 company. The how matters. And it's manifest in one of my kind of visions for the company, what my goal. I characterize as, I want to be the most admired identity company. Now, admired takes on a lot of forms. For some people, it could be, oh, you're the biggest, or oh, you're the most profitable, or oh, you're the fastest growing. And I'm not suggesting that those aren't important attributes of admiration, but there's something deeper to me beyond that, which is how we move through life in pursuit of the goal or the outcome or the performance. It does matter. And I never wanted to build a culture where one party, one constituent won at the expense of another. It's like, we got to find the win-win. And so the 10-10 culture is a very high bar. Like, to achieve big performance and big numbers and not sacrifice the how requires very mature and very capable individuals at all levels. So it's a pursuit. Like, it's like, you can touch the rim. You can't always like levitate and stay at that state, but it's always the goal.
That's so humble of you, that humility. You said that that's what you aspire to. I think you're all of those. You're the fastest growing, the most profitable, the biggest. So you've got that, and you still want to get better. And that how, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's one of the reasons why you've been ranked the best company to work for so many years by a given publication. So it's really, really inspiring to hear that.
I know work is everything, but I know off out of the office, off the field, so to speak, you enjoy karting, racing simulation. What is it? Is it more just the strategy and the kind of clear your head, or desire to win and get better lap times?
Super interesting. Yeah. So always loved cars. That's like, it's in your genes. It was in my genes. Discovered shifter kart racing, 4 or 5 years ago. And it hit a chord, and it's been growing, obviously. Like, it's actually not the competition with others. I discovered that it is completely all-encompassing of 100% of your attention. And because the business is so focused, you need those moments where your brain disconnects and focuses on something else. And this one's not a casual pursuit of perfection measured in tenths of a second. And the repeatability of perfection over a period of time is exceptionally hard to achieve. So it's a combination of the distraction through focus. It's a combination of clearly the adrenaline, which people like me tend to seek, and trying to find the line where skills can overcome risk with total focus in the pursuit of perfection measured in milliseconds. There's something in there which is just a little bit addicting, if you will. And again, it's not commentary on me beating other people. It's just commentary on continual improvement, knowing where the bar sits, because you always know what the fastest lap time is around the track.
You spent a lot of time with your family. And I remember when we were either negotiating something important on the deal, there was a really important moment. And you told us, I am going to be on a train.
Very important train trip.
For 5 hours. It was like, a train for 5 hours. That sounds so exotic in the middle of a deal. But what were you doing, by the way? It's a special family trip.
It was a special family trip. So my mother and father are getting up there in age, and it occurred to me that time is precious and limited. And a train trip across Canada was kind of on the list, and it was something that physically my parents, my mother especially, could do. And not lost on me that you're kind of in a captive area for a number of days, where some real quality time that was rightfully deserved, certainly for her as one of many thank yous for how she raised me and everything that she sacrificed. So no, we were on a train between Vancouver and Toronto. It was right in the middle of the deal. Reception was optional. There were many times where I didn't have it. But I have found that if you don't take time, either for family or for your personal health, if you don't, you will burn out. Like, we're running a sprint marathon. And I found you actually can take the time, and consciously or subconsciously, you do make it up. Like, you push a little harder before the trip, you push a little bit harder after the trip, and the trip occurred. The only delta was, did you do it or did you not do it in hindsight? And the years, days, and months slip by, and we're not getting them back. And we can't go recreate choices that we've made. So yeah, I have observed that to stay in the game, I've got to pay attention to all those facets of balance in order to kind of achieve not just peak performance for a short period of time, but peak performance, in this case, over 23 years, right? And going. That sprint marathon there's got to be breaks in there, and that was an important one.
Well, Andre, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being just a phenomenal partner to us. And I'm pretty sure all the listeners now know why you have built such an amazing company.
Thank you both. It's been a great partnership. And when people ask me, I'll go, well, look, they're tough coaches, but that's what you want.